Hello everyone, welcome back. One of my viewers gave me an excellent idea to do a video on SHTF hunting. Okay, so the apocalypse has arrived, the meteor has fallen, supervolcano has erupted, we're being invaded on all sides by foreign armies, government has collapsed, the supermarkets are empty. Okay, so what do? A lot of people have it in their head that they're gonna get their gun and go hunt deer. Okay, well, one of the things to consider is you're not coming to my land. Okay, the people that have land are going to defend their land. Okay, this first hit me a couple of years ago. I was talking to somebody that I kind of knew, kind of like an acquaintance, and he had told me that, back in 2020, he just bought a shotgun, right? I think it was like his first gun. So his first purchase was a shotgun, and his idea was that if the supermarkets were empty, he was gonna go, hunt deer. Okay, I don't even know if this guy had the sense to buy ammunition for that shotgun, but whatever. Okay, but anyway, the point that hit me is that, listen, this guy was basically in the city. Where's this guy gonna go find deer? Okay, so the people that have land are going to defend their land. Okay, so first thing to keep in mind is that you can only hunt your own land, and that's if you can defend it. Okay, because people will try to come to your land. If you're not able to defend it, they're going to kill you. And then they're going to start fighting each other over that land. Okay, so whoever is left alive at the end can hunt that land. And realistically, there probably aren't going to be any animals left on that land for them to hunt. Okay, so all large game are going to quickly disappear. In the last century, or in the first part of the century, a lot of animals were, or even in the first 100 years of this country, right? A lot of animals were driven to extinction just with like single shot muskets at a time when the population in this country was like a tiny fraction of it is right now. So you can imagine that large game is going to completely disappear. Okay, so that's the first thing we got to factor into this, into this plan. Okay, that we're not going to be hunting deer because the deer aren't going to be around very long. All the ones that even if you live in the rural area, like a lot of times I'll be shooting outside, and like 50 feet away from me there'll be a deer just looking at me, watching me shoot, not even afraid. Those animals are all going to disappear. Okay, so the only animals left alive are the ones that maintain that natural fear of humans, and can, as soon as they see them, smell them, they're gone. Okay, so those are the only animals that are going to survive, and I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be any large animals for that point. Okay, so now some people get the idea that they're going to go hunt public lands, right? Because they don't have their own land. They realize that, hey, it's too dangerous to go hunt on somebody else's land uninvited. So they think they're going to go hunt the public lands. You got to understand that those public lands are going to be very quickly territorialized. Okay, the gangs that develop are going to take control of those lands and even fight over them. Okay, the gangs that are probably going to be the most successful at this are the police gangs. Okay, the modern day police departments. They're already set up and positioned to become the most successful gangs. They've been working together. Okay, so they're probably going to keep wearing their badges just because, hey, it's an extra edge. Okay, so you can expect that the police gangs are probably going to take control of the public hunting lands, and nobody is going to hunt those lands, right? Uninvited. Okay, they're going to make sure that they eat first, their families eat first. And then beyond that, they're probably not going to take a chance with overhunting on their lands. Okay, so they're going to make sure nobody hunts those lands, even if there is, even if there is extra for everybody, they're not going to allow it. Okay, so the public lands are going to be very quickly territorialized. So what can you do, or what is practical? Okay, so you're not going to have access to large game. The most likely way that you would be successful would be by trapping small animals. Okay, small rodents. They come out at night. really hard to hunt them like with a rifle, with a 22 rifle, because they come out at night and it's hard to see at night. But you can trap them. Okay, so that's something that you can. That's probably something that has a good chance of succeeding and sustaining you over a long period of time. It's also something that's not going to draw too much attention. Basically, if you're trying to drag a deer out of the woods, basically all the other hunters on that land are going to start pointing their guns right at your head. Okay, but if you trap a small animal, you can move around a little bit more subtly without being seen. Okay, so that's something for you guys to think about, trapping small animals. A 22 rifle, again, for small animals that you'll have some success with that. Okay, so that's definitely something I definitely advise. Like years ago, I would recommend like a Ruger 1022. Nowadays, I just tell people to get an AR conversion bolt. Okay, I get really good accuracy with that out the distance, pretty much just as good as a dedicated 1022. So I tell people just get yourself a 22 conversion bolt for your AR. Okay. Okay, let's talk about dogs and cats. Okay, what's going to happen? That's probably going to be an animal that people are going to be hunting, and the reason for that is because in a shit hit the fan type of situation, over the next couple of weeks, months, you're going to probably have a 90% die off of the human race. Okay, and most humans aren't going to wait until they start starving to death. Okay, they're going to start trying to take resources from each other, so they're going to start killing each other off. Okay, that's a natural thing for humans to do. They don't wait until they starve. They're like, when they start getting hungry, they're already thinking about taking things from other people. Okay, so as people start fighting each other and killing each other off, bodies are going to start showing up along the side of the roads. Dogs and cats are meat eaters. They're going to start eating the corpses. Okay, so you can expect that the population of dogs and cats is going to shoot up. So that's something that you can expect to hunt. And this is something, you may, if you have a 9mm AR, this would kind of be ideal for this, because hey, why use your 5.56 ammo if you have a 9mm AR and stockpiles of 9mm, right? I would use, basically I would use that's what I would use my 9mm PCCs and 9mm and stockpiles of 9mm ammo for. I would use it for hunting dogs and cats and conserving my 5.56. Okay, let's talk about birds. Okay, bird hunting with 12 gauges. That's probably going to be among the most likely thing that people in the cities might try to do, because especially in the cities, basically they got lots of pigeons. For a short while, that might be successful. The problem with hunting birds is because there's small animals that move, that fly. Okay, I mean, you could, if they land, obviously you can shoot them with a 22, but if they're in flight, you need a 12 gauge. The problem with 12 gauge is that it's heavy. Okay, it's heavy. 100 rounds of 12 gauge is about the same weight as 1,000 rounds of 5.56 or 9mm. Okay, not exactly, but about the same weight. Okay, so 12 gauge is heavy. People are going to have a very limited supply of 12 gauge, so you might get a little bit of mileage with this, but it's not going to last you. It's not going to last you long. Okay, just because even people that stockpile guns and ammo, it's heavy, it's bulky, so that is the thing that people usually stockpile the least of. Okay, just because of its size and weight. So there's a thing on 12 gauge and hunting birds. Okay, let's go back to dogs, cats, and chickens. Okay, for a second. These are animals that you see, especially in rural areas like I'm in. Dogs, cats, and chickens will eat humans. Okay, in fact, you don't even have to be dead for chickens to start eating you. Okay, if you lay down motionless, chickens will start pecking at you. Okay, I know, I got lots of chickens. Okay, so chickens will eat anything that will get past their beak. The problem with chickens is that you do need specialized food to feed them. Okay, you can, they will eat some grass, but you need corn. So unless you're growing corn and have enough for the whole year, it's hard to feed the chickens. And as far as the egg laying, right? Because chickens, yeah, everybody's like, yeah, great, I got chickens, I got enough chickens to lay eggs. A couple of problems with the egg laying. Unless you give them a layer feed that is high in calcium, you're not going to continue to get eggs out of your chickens. Okay. The other problem with chickens is that modern day chickens are not good at breeding. Okay, the natural breeding characteristics that animals have has been pretty much bred out of chickens. Okay, so maybe 1 out of 20 chickens will attempt to sit on eggs. Rather, one out of 20 hens will attempt to sit on the eggs and hatch them out. That's like a really low probability. You gotta have a lot of chickens, right? You gotta have like almost like 20 to 50 chickens, so that you'll get one hen that's willing to sit on those eggs. Okay, and here's the thing: even if that hen does hatch them out, again, most chickens they're very bad parents. The hens will, as soon as the chicks will hatch out, they will peck them and try to eat them. Okay, so important to understand that modern day chickens are man-made creatures. Okay, they're not natural. Okay, the natural thing for birds to do is to lay, I don't know, 2 to 4 eggs a season. Okay, so when you got modern chickens that lay like 5 eggs a week, okay, that's not natural. Okay, that is man-made, and in that, and that's basically industrialized farming. Okay, in order for industrialized farming to work, you have to have the other components, which includes calcium-rich layer feed, which is what my chickens need. And if you don't give them that calcium-rich layer feed, the first thing they'll do is they'll start pecking the eggs as soon as they lay them, and start eating the shells, which are calcium-rich, because their body is basically designed it depends on calcium. In fact, I've had a lot more success in getting ducks to breed. Okay, even modern ducks that are domesticated. Like, you get these gigantic ducks that are like 3 times the size of natural ducks. They've been manipulated over less of a time, so they're less manipulated. So you're more likely to get ducks that will breed, and actually like sit on the eggs and hatch them out and protect them after that. So you're more likely to get ducks to breed than you are to get chickens to successfully breed. Okay, but the other problem with that is that it takes a long period of time, right? There's between them sitting on it for like 30 days and then those chicks growing up, there's a long period of time. You're probably going to have a lot more success if you want to try and breed animals with breeding rabbits and rodents. Okay. So those are the 2 animals that that's actually, I think, a very sound strategy, particularly with rabbits. Okay, because rabbits, to a large extent, can live off of grass and things that will grow naturally. Okay, starting a rabbit breeding hobby, to head off a SHTF, that's probably the most sound policy. The most sound approach, survival approach here, right? Because the other thing with rabbits is they're small. You can hide them. They don't stand out like cows or goats or things like horses that people will see from far away and like, yeah, it looks like some good meat there that we can get. The rabbits. Typically you can even if you keep them outdoors, you can hide them. Because they're small. In a small area, you can have lots of them. You can have like hundreds of them. Of course, rabbits like to dig under stuff. So what you want to do is you want to get fence, and not just put the fence all around, but also fence the ground, right? So that they can't dig under. Okay. So and then of course provide some type of shelter on top. So there's your rabbit breeding strategy right there. So you can do that with rabbits, you can do that with rodents if that's what you got access to get this thing started. The other important thing to remember as far as SHTF hunting, okay, is that humans will eat humans, okay? This is a proven fact. It's happened many times throughout history. And even though you might not be willing to eat humans, don't lose sight of the fact that other humans will be willing to eat you. Okay, so remember that it's not just you hunting, but it's also you avoiding being hunted. Okay, so a couple of things for you guys to think about it. I invite you guys to discuss it in the comment section. Maybe there's things I haven't thought of. By all means, please put in the comment section. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk again soon.